This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Mark Magnuson.
Hello and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today is Friday, March 8th, 2024. We're so glad you can join us. For today's show, I will bring you the latest Iowa Ag News headlines. I will also be joined by Curt Kimmel, the head of sustainability at Farmers Business Network, for an update on available sustainability programs for 2024. It is time now for our closing market summary.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day, we are joined now by Curt Kimmel of agmarket.net for our closing market summary. Curt, today was WASDE release day for March. What did we learn in the report?
Yeah, the report basically was unchanged on the corn and soybean side on the U.S. Supply-demand balance sheet. They kept corn ending stocks unchanged, 2.172. It just didn't touch anything on that balance sheet. Soybeans, 315 million bushels, unchanged from last month in February. And the surprise was they thought they might start adjusting the exports a little lower because exports been kind of slow in through here. But as we move forward, they might lower exports, but might raise crush. Kind of kicking the can down the road for the most part. The March acreage report, March quarterly grain stocks report probably needs to be seen here to give us a little better idea of where we are, and they'll probably adjust the numbers a little bit more aggressively as we go into April. The other part on the U.S. supply-demand balance sheet of the wheat estimate, wheat ending stocks, 673 million bushels. That was up 15 million bushels due to a slowdown in exports by 15 million bushels. They must have known China was going to cancel some wheat purchases here to adjust that. Otherwise, meal, oil, just a little tinkering there. I have a feeling, though, that as we get into April there and see what the numbers are, then we'll see a lot more excitement. On the world supply-demand balance sheet, it came in showing the Brazilian crop at 155 million metric tons. And the significance of that is that the trade was looking for as low as 135 million metric tons. And just lowering 1 million metric tons kind of is an example of what we did last year on the Argentine crop. They kind of stair-stepped it down. It took a while before they got that estimate kind of well nailed down. Brazil is probably about 50% complete of harvest, so we'll have more accurate numbers. I think the trade's leaning closer to 150, if not 148 million metric tons on the Brazilian bean crop. Brazilian corn, 124. That was unchanged. A lot of this is going to depend on the second crop, Safrinha corn crop. Weather maps are kind of flip-flopping back and forth on that. So that'll make our corn market here in the next few weeks here as we get a handle on that. Brazilian soybeans unchanged, 50 million metric tons. Brazilian corn was raised up to 56 million metric tons versus 55 million metric tons last month there. So just minor adjustments. One other observation on the supply-demand balance sheet on the world scale is China's going to import a couple more million metric tons than what they were looking for, and it's due to a little higher crush number. World ending stocks, corn 319 versus 322 last month, down just a tad bit. Beans 114 million metric tons versus 116, down 2 million metric tons. Wheat ending stocks down 1 million metric tons. But when you look at these numbers compared to past history, we still have plenty of grain stocks, corn, beans, wheat around the world. So in order for the numbers to get bullish on the world scale, we got to see a little bit more of a drop in the world ending stocks or a little tighter situation on our world stocks to use ratio. So this report's non-eventful. and we're in a situation where we're just going to probably wait till March. Technically, corn finished up 15 cents on the week. We've built a little base here, so technically it looks pretty good. We're above that 20-day moving average, which has been a thorn in the side here all winter. Soybeans up 32 cents for the week. So beans really kicked in gear here on Friday. We finally saw some higher prices here Friday for a change. Friday's been kind of bad. Wheat finished 20 cents lower on the week, but however, wheat had a daily price reversal to the upside. So we'll see if wheat can follow suit here.
So, Curt, let's switch over to the other side of the ag marketplace in the livestock complex. Did the report do anything to cause the livestock to move one way or the other?
Not really. We still got the same fundamental news. When you look at the quarterly production numbers, we're looking at some slightly higher production on beef and pork both. Red meat's going to be up just a tad bit. On the quarterly price projections here, the fats were 180. They moved them up to 183, so there's some optimism there. On the pork side, 60 last month, 61 this coming month as far as what they look for the annual prices. So nothing really huge there. Per capita consumption still struggling a little bit. On beef, 57.8. We were up above 59 not too long ago. Pork per capita consumption, 50.6 pounds. We were at 51 here not too long ago. So exports is going to be a key here on the beef and pork as we move forward. On the weekly chart, fats finished 85 cents lower, hogs down 370. Technically, they're getting a little toppy, so keep eye on the charts.
Well, Curt, always a lot of information to take in on a WASDE report day. We really appreciate you helping to break it down for us here today. Curt, what's the best way for our viewers to get in touch for more marketing information?
1-800-779-1515. We go to agmarket.net, click on Intel. They'll have a complete wrap-up of this report. It'll be a 5-10 minute video going in a little bit more detail on these numbers.
And Curt, you're over in Illinois. We've got some rain here today in Iowa, so hopefully we'll try to do you a favor and send that rain your way as well.
Yeah, bring it on. I think we're anywhere from a quarter to a half. We could use it. Appreciate it.
Thank you to Curt Kimmel of agmarket.net for our closing market summary and all of the great WASDE analysis. Let's turn now to the closing numbers, which can be found under the Markets tab on our website at iowaagnet.com.
May corn up 1 3/4 at 439 3/4. May soybeans up 17 3/4 at 1184 even. May soybean meal up 7 even at 341.40. May soybean oil down 18 cents at 46.17. Chicago wheat up 9 1/4 at 537 3/4. Minneapolis wheat up 8 even at 662 3/4. Kansas City hard red wheat up 14 even at 588 3/4. And May oats up 4 even at 362 3/4. On the Merc, April live cattle down $1.12 at 187.60. March feeder cattle down $1.82 at 249.20. April lean hogs down 15 cents at 84.37. April pork cutout unchanged at 92.20, and Class 3 milk down a penny at 16.58.
It's time now to take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soybean Checkoff. And when we come back, I will have the latest Iowa Ag News headlines. I will also be joined by Curt Allis, the head of sustainability at FBN.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
It is time now for the latest Iowa Ag News headlines. The USDA says that all cattle and calves in the United States and Canada combined totaled 98.2 million head on January 1st, 2024. That's down 2% from the 100 million head on January 1st, 2023. Cows and heifers that have calved inventory was down 2% from last year to 42 million head. All cattle and calves in the U.S. as of January 1st of this year totaled 87.2 million head. That's down 2% from the 88.8 million head on January 1st, 2023. The AM for Every Vehicle Act has hit the magic number of voting co-sponsors it will need to ensure passage through the House of Representatives. Sponsors of the House legislation, led by New Jersey Representative Josh Gottheimer, announced that they had picked up the 218th voting supporter. The majority of votes is necessary because Kentucky Senator Rand Paul blocked a bipartisan-driven majority consent vote in November. He's seeking to override the AM mandate and instead use the legislation to end electric vehicle subsidies under the American Vehicle Tax Credit. As the bill moves closer to the goal, the Department of Transportation is ready to implement the legislation. In a February interview, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says he's, quote, ready to run with the act the moment Congress gets it done. The act has picked up massive public support, including more than 400,000 emails, letters, and social media posts directed to senators and representatives. And Farmers Business Network had a big year in 2023 with thousands of farmers participating in sustainability programs from FBN. FBN head of sustainability, Curt Kimmel, says he expects farmer participation to grow even further in 2024.
We're in between crop years right now, and so we're still finishing up a lot of work from 23. We still have farmers submitting information to us. We're calculating outcomes. We're quantifying the rewards that farmers are going to get. So we're very much still in it right now, but we're very proud to say we had about 3,500 farmers participating in our programs with partners over this past year, about 3.5 million acres. And then we're gearing up for a big crop year 24, looking to hopefully double the size of our programs and provide some new offerings as well, in addition to expansion. So for us right now, we're in the thick of it, but we couldn't be more excited for crop year 24. So we're going to be rolling out programs from now until the beginning of summer. And so the best way to learn about what programs are offering now, what you can sign up for, what you're eligible for, is just to go to fbn.com, find the sustainability tab in your account. And basically, we're continuing to have more programs in that tab. So, for any given farm, there's going to be a different program fit that's right for a soil type, a geography, certain crop rotation. And so the best way to know, what's available now is just to go to that sustainability tab at fbn.com. And then we'll be making announcements through the next few months when new programs are live.
Growers are able to choose from many different programs on offer, including programs in the ADM Regenerations portfolio.
Yeah, we're really excited about more growth in the partnership with ADM. We'll be rewarding this in this coming growing season, corn, soybeans, wheat, canola, peanuts, potentially cotton. There's a whole bunch of new programs there. Farmers can earn up to $25 an acre for programs with ADM. Again, this is ADM Regenerations program. FBN's providing that infrastructure to facilitate the program. And that program continues to grow in geography as well. It'll be live across at least 18 states, 3 Canadian provinces. And so just expanded interest from ADM, from their downstream customers, continued opportunities in end markets for these ecosystem services associated with bushels that ADM is buying. And so really just formalization of a lot of opportunities for growers that already have a relationship with ADM or already delivering to them. And so these programs are really convenient and fit really in with how growers are making buying decisions already.
He says farmers can also expand their revenue streams by getting involved in a program offered by Poet.
A lot of the practices that are being rewarded across these different programs, whether you call them climate smart practices, regenerative practices, conservation practices, these are practices that have been pioneered by growers and now are being rewarded as solutions in end markets. And so with ADM, all of those practices I mentioned are getting rewarded. With Poet, really the focus is end markets for biofuel, export markets, as well as markets that are developing domestically. And so with the Poet program, specifically what matters is the farmer's carbon intensity score. So there's been a lot of talk about carbon intensity scores in the last 6 months as Inflation Reduction Act continues to be formalized. But there's already existing markets that reward this. We've been providing carbon intensity scores for farmers for a few years. And so the main lever through which a farmer can reduce their overall carbon intensity score is through fertilizer efficiency. And so POET's program rewards corn farmers at their ethanol plants. And really what they're looking for most is farmers that have either existing efficient fertilizer programs or are looking to bring in new practices to reduce their overall score.
Regenerative ag programs from the Environmental Defense Fund give growers even more options, says Alice.
I think a lot of times when we think about sustainability programs in agriculture, we think about the supply chain, or we think about carbon credits, right? Whereas there's other areas and opportunities for continued expansion. I think you'll see new products and services in different areas of the farm business continue to emerge in the market. Finance is one, which we have an offering with today. I think insurance opportunities. I think there's various warranties that farmers can take advantage of. And so we want to continue to unlock new ways for farmers to get rewarded for these practices. And one way in which we're doing it this coming year, and we actually launched this product offering for 24 just Monday of this week, is our Regenerative Agriculture Finance operating line. This is a partnership with Farmers Business Network Gradable, the sustainability arm of the organization, our finance unit at FBN, and then the Environmental Defense Fund. And basically, the idea of the program is farmers come in, they submit financial information in order to get an approved rate for an operating line. And then in addition to that, what they're going to do for this regenerative ag operating line is apply for eligibility for certain environmental criteria. Again, this is planting cover crops, using reduced tillage, meeting certain nitrogen use efficiency requirements through EDF's nitrogen balance program. And so by doing that, if farmers meet that requirement, then they get a 0.5% reduction on their overall interest rate. And so basically just a new way in which farmers can get rewarded for the same practices that they're doing through a new income stream. Because the way we think about it, there needs to be new rewards offered by different parts of the agriculture economy in order for these markets to continue to scale, for farmers to get paid and get ROI on the practices that they want to implement.
With commodity prices much lower currently, Alice says that additional income streams are vital to farmers right now.
Definitely. I think at FBN, we've always been interested in improving the profit potential of the family farm. And we don't think about sustainability any differently. Sustainability for us is a new way for farmers to monetize their farm business, a new way for them to earn rewards. And as you're saying, with commodity markets where they are, crop year 24 could be a really good opportunity, a really good time for farmers to think about new ways in which they can earn additional income. And potentially that's through a sustainability program. That's through conservation practices.
Well, Curt, we thank you so much for taking the time to join us here today. Is there anything else you'd like to let our audience know about when it comes to the programs on offer through FBN's platform?
No, I'll just say check out fbn.com, go to the sustainability tab, see if there's a program that works for you. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out through the online platform or anyone that you work with at Farmers Business Network already. Again, very excited, very thankful for the farmers that have participated in our program to date. And so thanks for the time, Mark. Really appreciate it.
Thank you once again to Curt Alice, the head of sustainability with Farmers Business Network. And that wraps up today's news headlines and brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And you can find our video content and previous episodes of AM/PM on our YouTube channel. Don't forget our free twice daily market podcast on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Mark Magnuson. On behalf of Riley Smith and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.